Hello, hockey fans. I believe we are live. Hopefully, you can hear me as we are just obviously through our flood here at the Winsport Arena here in Calgary. This game between Calgary Soul and the Lumberjacks here in action today. But I'm going to rest my voice until the game starts, and we'll be live here in about 10 minutes. Hello and welcome to the Winsport Arena 1, the main ice for this affair between Calgary Flare Soul and Calgary Lumberjacks. My name's Conrad Krausert and welcome to another one of our Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association matchups here on the channel. So proud to be given a little bit of extra highlight, a little extra flair, if you will, to the Calgary Flare. The Inclusive Hockey Association, formerly known as the Pioneers, but with the help of Freddie, have got these gorgeous white rainbow, very, very inclusive color. Their Canadian Sports School League as well. So 2 minutes away from puck drop here. And always so tough to convince everyone to come out for these midweek beer league affairs. And hey, at least this one was a little bit earlier than the 10 o'clock puck drop we did for Tara and Luna. Of course, if you look over on the Game Over channel, we have a 5-minute long, the final 5 minutes of the third period and the shootout from that match. So glad that we get to showcase a little bit more of the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association. And obviously, if you're in Calgary area and you're like, hey, that sounds like a squad that I can get behind, we'll talk a little bit more about them as we go on. As I mentioned, this is the top of the pyramid for the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association. This is their most competitive, highest league, or most competitive opposition as well for this game, or for this league. Tara and Luna not fully learned to play, but a little bit on the lighter side in terms of previous playing experience. So if you want to come learn to play, there's lots of opportunities with the CIHA. And even if you're just looking to come and go and get involved in the stick puck and you're part of the Pride community here in Calgary, Alberta, the 2SLGBTQIA2+ community, or an ally, there's lots of stick and pucks, open skates that go on throughout the year. Give it a check out whenever you have a chance on Instagram. We are now just going to collect the pucks as game action will begin shortly. And a little bit of a short bench here for Lumberjacks. If I count correctly, that's 7 guys showing up. Inclusive Hockey Association on the ice today, and Alana McAvoy. She, her. And I will be doing my best. I have asked everyone their pronouns, so I will be trying my best to remember those, because as we all know, identity very, very important. But as I said, Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association, their white and rainbow jerseys, and the Lumberjacks rocking the plaid with the suspenders. Gotta say, it's a good look. Other than I can't read the numbers on the back on top of the loonies there. That's the only thing I'll complain about as a broadcaster. Skating towards the center ice dot is going to be Eric Bell. I think it was James Brown maybe on the other side, but puck is down and Soul get it all the way back to their goaltender. The first shot on goal there for Christine Sano. CIHA bank it up the boards, trying to go for a bit of a chip and chase. Eric Bell does get to the puck, has it momentarily knocked off his stick, but he regathers, looking back towards the point. His pass redirected. That'll force Craig Fulvik to kind of just reverse it over the boards. CIHA just proud to get into the center, onto the stick there of Brad Nath. Nath gets it forward. The Lumberjacks try and chop that one back out front. Intercepted. CIHA try to get over the blue. Can't, just barely held in, if only for a moment. But it's an odd man opportunity. It's a breakaway. Racing his way in Eric Bell. Backhand off the crossbar. Puck's free and it's knocked home. CIHA, if at first you don't succeed, go get that rebound. It was a juicy one off the crossbar. And Solar on the board. You know, sometimes your posts are your best friend as a goal. Be knocked away from the Lumberjacks. And away erase Soul. Put it in neutral ice, and they'll try and have Cam Lowe going in chase. Is out of his range. Good job by Ryan Wallace to chop it back in, but play is offside, and that puck went into the bench. That is one of the only problems with this ice surface here at Winsport. Not necessarily this ice sheet, but the other ones, they're all set up for sledge hockey. So, number one, you don't have the drop down that you're used to as a hockey player. So you see people, they expect to drop down all the way and they'll kind of stumble. But it does have the shorter boards in front of the players' benches. Lumberjacks work it back up front, try to go back to the line, held in. Gonna be some burning legs as this one goes through, and a great stop by Christine Sano. Pushed all the way to her blocker side and smothered that one. Yeah, I think the Lumberjacks now have 3 substitutes on the bench, so always a wonderful, wonderful part of this game we love at this age group. I got work early tomorrow morning. I can't make midweek games. Oh, and that one's battled towards the net in the round the blue paint, but net knocked off its moorings. The only unfortunate part about this rink is they do use it for figure skating as well. So it doesn't have drill-in pegs. It's just got those stamp-ins. And hey, for beer league, that's probably for the best. We don't need to have anyone crashing into the posts and breaking a leg, a la Steve Stamkos. Tied up draw, eventually battled free. That's Tice Berger. Berger trying to not give up a pizza delivery. And the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association Soul, they break through. They got 3 there. Coming out, they have to play that one. I believe that is Jonathan Pendlebury in net for the Lumberjacks, but didn't actually get who was playing net. They got 4 guys listed as potential goalies. And a breakaway. Have to be careful there at the bench. You gotta get on and off the bench cleanly. You don't want to have to bounce off your skate on a line change and have that be what causes your team to go down, and that'll be an icing call on the play. And we don't have that rule in beer league that if you ice the puck, you can't line change. Not quite at that level here for Calgary Flare Soul. I've talked a little bit about Tara and Luna, the other 2 squads that Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association have, and I've been told if there's enough interest, they could even potentially be talking about a 4th team for the association. So good to see so many people wanting to join a team of inclusive, like-minded people playing the beautiful game of hockey. That one backhanded across by Connolly. I was looking at the roster and I saw Justin Connolly, and I'm like, hey, wasn't that a NHL player's name? And I don't think this is the correct Justin Connolly. Is that one? Ping pongs off a couple of legs, and we worked all the way back to the point, but gets away all the way down. That one just got under the stick of Eric Vondelbrechten. That's a good Austro-German name. That one intercepted. You know, it could be Dutch. It would usually be Van if it's Dutch. That one goes all the way down. No icing on the play. CIHA gonna get a line change through. And that will be icing charged to the Lumberjacks. I saw the official reaching down for something on the ice. I don't know if that was piece of someone's mouth guard that had gotten onto the ice, but he kind of looked at it a little weird, like. Or I know I've heard one of a friend of mine, he said, that was Scott Price with the shot, and Lumberjacks get back into the zone. Good job there by Alana McAvoy, making them at least change direction. That shot, speaking of change directions, bounces off a couple legs. David Erickson will just get that down behind his own net. Good pinch at the line from the Lumberjacks. They got 4 different passing options. That one knocked towards goal. Can see lots of Eric von Gelbrechten. Good pass out front all alone, but challenging the angle right at the top of the blue paint. Christine Sano, confident goaltending here for the Seoul goaltender as she'll skate her way across, glide across, and Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association gonna try and get this one through center, and that one just undershot for Cam Lowe. And here come the Lumberjacks. Good physical play there by Alana McAvoy. She tries to reverse, can't get it out all the way through the snow. Fired at the line, tipped right in front, but Sano got the toe to that one. She'll freeze and has a conversation with her captain right there on the doorstep. So a lot of offensive zone time for the Lumberjacks. Not having to race up and down the ice, which is a good thing when you've only got 8 skaters. That one up in the air, bounces off a glove into behind the net of Sano. Sano has had to make a couple of grade A stops. Held to the line by the Lumberjacks, once again fired. That one tipped, standing right on the doorstep there where the Lumberjacks read Bilbin. Bilbin tries to back out, looking for a pass, wraparound attempt. And Sano gets a toe to that one. It'll bounce high in the air and knocked past this CIHA skater. That one will carry him all the way down. You have to think maybe that the Soul will. That one didn't get to goal, bounces off the skate of the defender. Sano makes the rebound, or makes the stop, but rebound available. Lumberjacks unable to get a stick to puck. Unable to get that lumber to the biscuit. Soul get it into neutral. Can't get it much further, at least for now. Lumberjacks break the zone, and they're on a 3-on-2. Defender slips. Sano makes the initial stop, and trying to make the play from their backside was Soul. Soul tried to get through the one defender, but Lumberjacks will kick it back into the zone. Linesman not on the line, unable to see that that play was offside, but running out of real estate there. I believe that might have been James Brown. That one skitters away and actually clears the zone. Goes all the way around. CIHA have it on their sticks for a moment, but they're just gonna slam it along the riser, but can't again get clear. Some tired legs. Backdoor play potentially here. Sano makes one stop and then says to her team, let's just get this one out of danger. Four of 5 will change, and I'm sure Sarah Miles will get over the boards as soon as they get closer. Back out in front, fired, and that one didn't miss by much. I think that one might have bounced off a leg as well. Oh, tried to go rink wide on that pass, but Eric Bell chopped it down instead of letting it go to his line mate. Fired on, Sano gets it in the glove, and then we'll throw the trapper right on top. And we'll get a freeze here with 6:26 remaining in period number 1. One shot, one goal for Calgary Soul. And 10 shots already for Lumberjacks, but Sano has gotten in front of every single one of those 10 shots. Connolly knocks it back forward. And here goes Alex Bradley. Bradley drops it off. Graham Hall tried to go back to the line, but it'll only find a Lumberjack. Good stick getting in the way, and another good stick there, that time from goaltender Sano. Sometimes I say the goalie's got to be the best penalty killer, but certainly has had to maybe be the best player on the entire ice surface, being peppered. And, you know, I'm sure all the beer league goaltenders that are watching at home are like, yeah, that sounds like us sometimes. And you face 20 shots in a period, and you look at these NHL guys and they're like, they face 20 in a game. That's easy. 1-0 how it stands here for Calgary Soul. Christine is such an amazing goalie. Has been standing on her head, and I gotta say the style to match. As I think it's unicorns on the mask. Didn't get a close view of that chip and chase there from the defenseman and captain Alana McAvoy, but here come the Lumberjacks. Christine, square to the shooter, gets a blocker to that one. Good lateral movement. I'm going to say that a few times today, I think. Alana trying to call out for anyone to get in position. It ends up having the shot block with the palm of the glove. Obviously, that one might sting a little in the morning. Lumberjacks intercept the pass. That one's off a skate. Alana gets the stick in front of the shot, and that one will flutter harmlessly by. Lumberjacks back to the point. Lots of time, lots of space, but seeing it all the way, Christine Sano. Hopefully we're doing all right. I haven't been able to check if we're dropping frames. As I said in chat, we're running this off a cell phone. You know what? If the live stream's been a little choppy, we are recording it, so hopefully we can get that uploaded tomorrow. So if you're watching today and it's a little too choppy for you, Sano flashes the leather on that one. A little how do you do? Yeah, I'd be going to that water bottle a lot more than Christine is. Face-off won by Calgary Inclusive Seoul. But Lumberjacks, aggressive forecheck. And now it's effectively a 4-on-5 is trying to race their way to their stick as Ryan Wallace and Sano will just freeze and gets a tap on the pads there from the Lumberjack forward. It's a good thing about these two teams. They seem to be respectful and understanding that everybody's got to go to work tomorrow. Handed back the line, and the Jacks, the pass will leave the zone. Goes all the way around, and Natalie Curtis. I always have to do a double check when you have two first names. Natalie Curtis on the puck now. Oh, dekes around one would-be defender. To say that play is onside, fired on, and I'll call that the third shot of the game here as Seoul will get an offensive zone face-off. Nice little move at the blue line there by Natalie Curtis. You have to think the benefit of having a full bench here for Seoul might not be playing dividends just yet as that puck right around the blue paint. Couldn't pull the trigger there. Could Eric Bell as he had back to goal, and they're just going to throw the glove right on top. Don't blame me on that one. It's always an easier play to shots thus far, and Christine has stopped them all. Up the boards and gets past the defender, and it could be another odd man opportunity for Seoul. They'll push it forward, and Eric Bell looks for a teammate. He'll take some extra time and then try and go all the way across, but it bounces off a Lumberjack leg. And now it's an odd man rush opportunity for Lumberjacks. All the way across, but just out of the range. Tyler Frazier couldn't quite get to that one. Or I thought it was 11, it's 91. Now as Kelly Chernirwachan, apologize. Down below the goal line, Christine, I think, had that post blocked. Puck didn't get back out front. Chipped all the way across, and oh, a good opportunity there. They're trying to spring Eric Bell once again. You know, when you have a speedster like Bell, I don't think that's the worst idea. Go put him in a foot race. Put some extra miles here on the Lumberjacks. I gotta say, is it a good idea for the beer league? You have all your number jersey, but just throw out the name bar with Jacks on the top. Lumberjacks try and break that one to the net front. Couldn't do it. Trying to skate it out of the zone there was David Erickson. Jacks working down in behind, trying to get this one back out in front. Seoul do a good job of making sure it couldn't get out. Sano makes the first stop. Second one is chopped wide. Sano kind of shaking her head, feeling, I've seen a lot of that vulcanized rubber disc as we're down into the last minute of play. Sano couldn't control the rebound. Fortunately goes to the end boards and they'll just slap it all the way down. No touch icing, and Seoul will just take the line change, or well, will not take the line change. They'll just take a casual skate back to the face-off dot. You could see a lot of pride tape on the sticks as well. It's you know, it matches the jerseys. It's not like the NHL where they've banned the rainbow tape. Fire it on, sharp angle. Snow once again shaking her head, just saying, I need this puck out of the zone in the last minute of play here in period number 1. That one's off a leg. Pass a little short. Good intercept there from Joel Spence. Spence, the defender, gonna turn defense to offense. Snow gets the glove to the crossing pass, and now we have 30 seconds. Can Seoul get another opportunity? Low, hands off. That one's put towards net, and just the old school stick it into the corner job there for the goaltender of the Lumberjacks. One last rush opportunity. Snow once again right in front of that one, and 15, let's make that 16 shots and a perfect 100% on the save. Knock on wood. 3, 2, and 0. 16 shots, but none have passed Sano. And the first shot for Calgary Flare Seoul found the twine. They'll swap sides. I think we got 2 minutes here. Get the officials to have a little bit of a break. And my camera operator, let him go get a drink. But the first shot, first goal, all that was needed. They're trying to get the attention of one of the Lumberjacks. Once again, if you are watching this stream and interested in joining Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association, head on over to the websites. All the rosters are full, but there are some opportunities to join the substitute roster. The most important part of any beer league team to try and get some extra people out. So head on over to the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association website. And the guy sitting above Flair is pretty cute, from Jason Funkhauser. Is that are you talking about yourself? Are you watching the stream? If you are, thank you for joining us. But yeah, it has been a lot of rush opportunities coming off the stick of Eric Bell. And again, I am going to say this. Thank you so much for tuning in. It says we've had a couple of disconnects, but we are trying our best to try and get you the best quality stream. And as I said, we've got this all recorded, so it will be uploaded tomorrow. If, hey, you're watching another game, I know there's 3 games on the docket involving all 3 of our active Game Over streams. So if you haven't seen Game Over, we do post-game streams in most Canadian markets soon. Our current markets are Game Over Montreal, Game Over Calgary, hosted by myself and Anand Unathan. And Montreal is hosted by a guy you may know, Andrew Berkshire, if you've been a hockey fan for a little while, as that's going to be an icing call. And also, my friend Kay over in Montreal. Love both of those hosts. And our Game Over Toronto crew as well. So if you're a fan of the Leafs, Flames, or Habs, go check out your post-game content and occasional other content. Or hey, just stick here on the network channel and we might be bringing you some more Flair action. That one chopped in behind the Lumberjacks net. Give you a out of Calgary arena summary, as they are down in Northern California are the Flames, and they're actually trailing one of the hottest teams in the NHL, the San Jose Sharks, 1-0 already. That'll come all the way down, and Christine goes on a bit of a walkabout, but a great pass. Christine harnessing her inner Mike Smith. And Lumberjacks still offside. They'll eventually tag up. That'll allow Seoul to skate through center. Head manning it there, or head womaning it, was Natalie Curtis. I guess that's I didn't think of that as a gendered term. I guess that one's what I'll have to work my way through. Lumberjacks down behind the net, being watched carefully. Ryan Wallace used a little bit of the body position, not body contact. Back across, wide open net, and Sano couldn't get there. A great passing play by the Lumberjacks will tie this one up. It took 17 shots, but it will lead to the first goal for the Jacks. Just couldn't quite get all the way there. Sano just tried to reach that stick back, but couldn't quite get all the way there. So 1-1 is the score. 2 minutes here into period number 2. And I got to say, the Lumberjacks are really tall. Blake Adair, he's maybe a redwood to keep the Lumberjacks nomenclature around here. Intercepted. Dangerous opportunity. Christine shoots out the pad. A beautiful save there. And Christine just gives her pad a little bit of a rub, get it back into its spot. A little bit of a glove pass, but it's in her defensive zone. And they're not going to call that one icing. That'll allow a forechecking opportunity there for Bell. And as I said, the tallest player on the ice, and it looks like Lumberjacks have gotten an extra skater in between the two periods. Extra set of fresh legs, maybe coming straight from work. Held in, if only for a moment, at the line. Graham Hall was trying to get stick to that one. He'll head off for a line change. Jacks work it back down low, tried to go over the shoulder of Sano. Couldn't quite get it there. Justin Barrett on the puck now. He'll elect to take a little bit extra time there into the skates there of David Erickson. Lumberjacks get it past the initial defender, and Justin Barrett lost his stick there. He'll regather. Speaking of regathering, here goes the big, tall Blake Adair. Adair back across. That one was on the backhand, couldn't be gathered. Adair tried to work it back out front. It's into the skates. And the Lumberjacks just trying to fire as many pucks as they can at Sano. And hey, if you faced 18 shots and only one is snuck by, I think you have to be pretty happy with that one if you're Sano. And David Erickson getting into it a little bit with one of the Jacks players. Erickson out front gets the shot on. Net well off its moorings. That'll be an offensive zone faceoff for Seoul. Oh, David Erickson with that. I think that's the Helenka Gretzky when they have the UBS stickers on the top. I think that helmet might have been over there. Yeah, it's got the full-on European advertising on it. Face-off outside the zone, actually, here. Puck is down. Jacks win the face-off. Try and get that one all the way down. Seoul will just chop it right back out of the offensive zone. Oh, good stick there by Sarah Miles. Miles tries to chase it down, forces the turnover. Chipped in, and here comes an opportunity. Fired on, and just getting the stick to that one was the goaltender, as Tice Berger couldn't quite find the twine. Tice breaks the blue, tried to fire that one on, but long stick gets in the way. Back out front, all the way to the line. Slap shot off the shin pads. I don't know where that puck is. I don't think anyone knows. Oh, and it found its way all the way into the Lumberjacks bench. So it took a big carom. And they'll say it'll be an offensive zone face-off here for Seoul, which is a potential opportunity there. And tried to spin it all the way back to Derek Bell, but fired on, tipped on route, and Eric Bell once again being very active. Oh, official had that one in his skates. Chipped by Graham Hall, and that'll get to neutral. Had to be careful there, did Alana, and finds Bell once again. Bell will fire it all the way around. It'll come to Hall. Hall will send it back where it came. In pursuit is Alex Bradley. Bradley actually outskated the puck, got caught up in some snow. Lumberjacks, they'll go D to D. Put it right up the middle, all the way back to captain Alana McAvoy. A little bit of chip and chase here. And I think Eric Bell will win most of those races, so not a bad decision. Alana fires it, it goes all the way around. Put back in front. Not a bad opportunity there for Graham Hall, and Alana holds the line. Shot tipped on the way and just gonna try and jam it. But the goaltender for Lumberjacks will freeze and get a line change. You know how I said I thought they had an extra skater? It looks like one of them is actually left. So maybe they just said, we needed you to come for the first 20 and then you can go and get back home with the kids. Now that's the problem sometimes with these midweek. You have to be there for children's events. But here come the Lumberjacks. They got another opportunity. 2-on-0. Rebound, and the rebound is tucked home. Top shelf. And the Lumberjacks do take a lead. Number not listed in my roster. Actually, I'm correcting, that's Eric Vongelbrechten, who tucks that one home. And the first lead of the game for Lumberjacks. That one down in the corner. And here comes Seoul. They got a odd man opportunity. They're going to say that is offside. They're calling the delayed offside. Seoul will have to tag up. Or Lumberjacks will skate it out themselves. Seoul watching the trailer. Good stick there. Forces the puck to the boards. It does get back to the line, walking all the way in. It won't get to Sano. It'll bounce off a leg into the corner, and Seoul will just get it into center ice. Brendan Ray, I apologize. One of my rosters is first last, and one of them's last first, so apologies, folks. Seoul blocked that puck, but it bounces off a leg, and it'll be an odd man opportunity once again for the Jacks. Oh. Vongelbrechten has a cannon. If you give him the time and space, it would appear. Seoul trying to race the way through with this one. Natalie Curtis just out of range, and Dax will chip it all the way down. Rink wide pass. Let's see if they go back door. They do. Oh, and that one wasn't quite an artillery range for Vongelbrechten. Back out in front, Vongelbrechten tried to find a hole in the zone. Trying to find a little bit of space to try and fire up the laser. Good stick from Seoul, but the Jacks hold the zone. Jacks circle and twist. Just maintaining possession. Get close to the blue and they'll just smack it down, and that'll just be an icing call. Try and get a set of fresh legs out for Seoul. As I said, if you are just like me and just trying to get legs back with you, and you're an ally or part of the 2S LGBTQIA community, Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association does host monthly stick and pucks and general community skates. All you need are skates, helmets, a glove, and a stick, and you'll be good. Unless you're like me and you have to go, your head's so big you have to buy one of the very expensive helmets. I almost wonder if I should have just contacted the Flames to get one of those guys. Back out front, and oh, a good pad stop there by Sano. And it looks like our stream might have gone down once again. But as I said, good thing we're recording. Sorry about that, folks. Did seem we had a little bit of a internet blip. But hey, we have the recording going, so we'll upload. And it does look like the Jacks have another skater joining, as I said, just a little bit late. Just checking on. Oh, and it looks like Eric Bell is going to have to leave. Looks like he's picked up a bit of a slice. That is the negative about having the visor versus the cage, is that can happen a little bit more easily. Knocked down at the line and held well there by the Lumberjacks. They got an opportunity, 3-on-1, fired on, and you think there's an opportunity, but Sano is there a majority of the time. And here comes Seoul. They got a couple of skaters. The first one fired on and, oh, just barely sticked away by the goaltender. I think that might be Ian Herron, who's usually a skater, but playing goaltender today so that his squad can continue on. Speaking of continuing on in the offensive zone is Seoul. Wallace will chop that one all the way down in. Ryan is trying to keep them in the offensive zone, and good stick there by the goaltender. And here come Lumberjacks. Put back out front, backhanded on, and Sano. Great body positioning right in front of that puck. Yeah, good point from our camera operator, Anthony. Good job by the defenders. There's been a couple of opportunities that the rebounds have been there. But the defenders not allowing a lot of room for the Lumberjacks to come in and try and pick up any pieces that might be skidding around the top of the crease. That's a howitzer from the point. But they need to adjust the sights on that gun a little bit. Tried to knock that one down, and that one will skip over the stick of Natalie Curtis, but, or correction, that's Tice Berger. Good defensive play there from Justin Connolly before he spills onto the ice. Sticked away. And that one will be stopped and frozen by Sano. Just trying to take a peek as far over as my broadcast location will allow to see if Eric Bell has returned. Intercepted there, racing in. And a good stick there by the defenders for Seoul. All the way back to the point, and they'll get into neutral. 3:43 remaining here in period number 2. Go all the way down, chipped around. Tice couldn't quite push that one forward, and here come the Jacks once again. That one fired wide. Back in behind goal. Seoul have been ruthless in pursuit, and they have to be. They've spent a lot of times in their defensive zone, and it's always in these period number 2s where that becomes even harder when you got the long change. And here comes Tice. Tice gets around one. Tice now coming in, mono. Tice will just work it into the corner and try and dance their way out, but that puck taken away, and the forwards will go for a change, and I think the Jacks are going to do similar. Couldn't hold the line. Offside is the call. Once again, the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association, so happy and so proud of the rebound. So they would like to mention the assistance of Freddie in getting these gorgeous new Flair jerseys and 3 new team names into this association. So once again, thank you to the partners at Freddie for assisting with the rebrand. Put back out in front, and good stick work there, no call. Just a stick lift as that one will bounce through neutral. Racing on, they got 2 skaters holding the line, fired, and that one didn't miss by much. Hall will backhand that one, and it caroms into a dangerous location. Fired on, and the slapper there from Alex Bradley tests the Jacks goaltender. A little bit of a line change having to happen here due to the injury to Eric Bell. David Erickson now centering this line. Erickson battling in front, giving up about 1.5 feet in size to the giant that is Blake Adair. Getting down, laying down, good intercept there. And that'll be sent all the way down. I believe that was Alex Bradley. Yeah, got down and prevented the pass. That was always my favorite move in NHL, the video games, where you hit both the trigger buttons and just sprawl and kind of swing your stick out. Puck is down, and a 1 draw there by Sarah Miles. I'll be back to Miles, and Miles has miles and miles of open ice in front. Sarah Miles tried to pull the trigger, had it go off the heel of their stick. Shot opportunity there for Justin Barrett. Had it blocked, and the Jacks race away. That one will carry him off the end boards, and once again, it is Sarah Miles. Miles had that drop off the heel of their stick, and the Jacks sent sprawling. Oh, good stick there, though, on the back jet. And here come the Jacks once again. I got to say, though, if you're a defender or your goaltender, you appreciate Sarah Miles. Very defensively sound, really playing that F1 coming all the way back down to prevent any opportunities. That one, long stretch pass intercepted, but the Jacks off the line change do get back and take this puck away there from Dwight Efford. Oh, that one dangerously bounced off the defender, fired, rebound. Oh, and the first, second, and third opportunities all stopped here within the final minute of the second period. Jacks fired at the point, takes a couple of redirects, and saying, "I've had enough," is Christine Sano standing on her head. And I see Sano using the full flex of that shearwood paddle to get back up. Takes a sip of the water bottle and leaning on a goaltender's best friends, the post, a little bit. Tice Berger trying to dance like they have a few times today. This time will expire here in the second period. And facing 32 shots through 2 periods is, I think if I had to choose an all-star, Christine Sano would be that, as I said. 32 shots faced and has stopped 30 of them. As I mentioned, go check out, if you got Google, you're watching on YouTube, you know how to use the internet, go on Google, search the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association. All the info you need there. If you want to, join the sub list, hey, express your interest for next year. As I said, if there's enough interest, CIHA will put out another roster. And whether that's you wanting to come out and play, whether that's you wanting to support the existing teams, or hey, if you want to just come out to the community skate, all of these are options. Give it a look, and I'm just looking up to the the hockey bar that they have here, and I'm seeing some Calgary Flames jumping up and down. Hey, Ryan Lomberg's first of the year against the San Jose Sharks. Getting a little Calgary Flames commentary as well. Love to see when the Lamborghini gets involved. I think the refs know, hey, this game's been going pretty good. It's got some good flow to it. Let's let everybody have a few extra seconds to catch their breath, especially Christine Sano. And hey, Christine, if you're looking back through the chat, you just got some mad love from Andrew Berkshire. Andrew, a former Albertan at one point in his life, now living in La Belle Provence as the head of our network and the head of Game Over Montreal. Hey, I know you guys haven't been so happy with Dobes, and Montembeau is on a rehab start. Should I be sending Christine's information somewhere there, Andrew? Here come the Lumberjacks after Seoul do get some time in the offensive zone. Good stick there, but good work by the Jacks staying active. Sano keeping that toe right to the post, making sure there's no easy one. Snow fights through a screen and gets the toe to that one. Yeah, Sano a little bit slower to get up back to her skates after the first period, but after facing 34 shots now by my count, I can't blame her. Here comes Seoul. They break the blue. Put back out front, that one sticked away from Berger. A dangerous change here. Oh, good stick there, Connolly, who had just been checking on his teammate, and they'll just pass that one back to Sano and say, let's get the full line change out. Me and Anthony just sharing a little bit of a glance. This song's been interesting. It has an interesting history in a couple of communities we're in. Puck is dropped, and the Jacks do win it. Backhand opportunity there by, as I said, the tallest player on the ice, maybe in this league, in Blake Adair. Back out front, Snow makes one stop, rebound, jammed home. That'll be the second of the game there for Vongelbrechten, and few too many opportunities like that. So it's 3-1 Jacks, 13:36 left to play here in period number 3. That one will eventually be gathered. Trying to race his way through. It's Alex Bradley. Bradley looked up, didn't see a passing lane. He'll go all the way around the zone. Bradley trying to put the Jets on here. And Vondelbrechten looking for his third. Sano denies the first one. The rebound, however, is put home, and it's just shot volume at this point. Sano has stood on her head. And this is looking like some of the Canadians' games of late that I've been seeing. Just a few too many second chance opportunities. But Seoul trying to work their way through this. Good stick there. You don't see that very often these days. The goaltender sees the attacking player cut off the end boards and gets the paddle out. It almost was like the Ron Hextall paddle too. Had it raised like it was ready for a karate chop more than just a poke check. Didn't quite all tag up in time, says one of our officials. But back out front, Vondelbrechten trying to find his third of the game. And is certainly taking up that position right at the top of the paint more than a few times today. Soul get it into neutral. Before the Lumberjacks break the blue once again. All the way through, and that's a nice pass and a nice tip. Not much you can expect on that one, as Snow has been good. But sometimes I think you need to be the reincarnation. Well, I guess he's still around, so it wouldn't be reincarnation, but the second coming of Patrick Waugh to stop something like that. So I'm always impressed when NHL goalies only allow 5 shots on 39, and I gotta say, Christine Sano, as much as I appreciate the level of play that is being played on the ice, this is not quite NHL defending in front of her. Tice fights hard for that puck, couldn't quite come away with it. The Jacks will try and jailbreak their way away. Turned away at the blue line, and long cross ice pass will find Natalie Curtis. Curtis finds Ty. Tice fires that one on, forces the save, and oh, it's back out in the dangerous area. Couldn't get frozen. Curtis trying to find it, still free. It'll get all the way to the point, and Alana McAvoy plays it to her defense partner. Fired and scores! The shot from Justin Connolly had a couple layers of screens and brings it to within 3. Good play there from the captain to hold the line, and Connolly just threw the wrister towards the net, and it finds a hole in the Lumberjacks goaltender. And good, as I said, throwing on the afterburners here in period number 3 is Alex Bradley. Bradley pushed and shoved along the near boards. No arms in the air. We haven't actually had a penalty call thus far in the game today. Put back to the line, Alana fires. They'll carry him into the corner. That one will get by the forechecker, and the Soul will skate their way back to their defensive zone after a good extended burst of offensive zone time. Oh, you can see people turning their heads. They're getting the sticks in the way of that big towering shot coming off the point from, oh, that one wasn't Aspero. It's one of the players I don't have on my roster sheet. That'll bounce off the corner boards and go the long way for icing. Take it for the long way around, the one with the prettiest of views. And hey, Calgary's got mountains. We also have rivers. They sure look prettier with you guys joining us in chat, or if you're watching the video on demand, thank you so much. As I said, we'll get it uploaded without any of the internet issues when we get home tomorrow. Of course, I could probably upload it today. I live just 10 minutes away from the rink. Soul chips it forward. They deemed that was onside. Fired on. Player sprawling and maybe trying to draw that first penalty call of the game. And Sarah Miles shook their head as if they felt there was a little bit more contact there. And Miles comes back, puts her shoulder into her man. That one fired on, and once again on the puck there, Vongelbrechten. Sarah chops it up the boards, can't get quite out of the zone. Oh, and nearly the backdoor tip in there. You can see the effects of 40 shots here as Christine Sano putting in an absolute mountain of work. That one tipped. I thought that one was up into the protective netting, but stays on the ice surface. And is that what I think I see on the bench? And it looks like Eric Bell reaching for his gloves. And his stick returning after missing a full half of the game. Sano pads that one into the corner. And here, Seoul have a 3-on-1 opportunity, as I said. Maybe this is the point they can count on those tired legs. Great stop there by the Jacks goaltender. Got the pad to it and then will make the freeze. And as I'm saying, I don't think that's a normal goaltender. I don't think that's their everyday. I think this might either be a rent-a-goalie or one of the guys going back to play in net. As I said, Ian Herron is usually a forward for them, but is also listed under the goaltending category. So it could be him. I didn't quite get to see the lineup sheet for this one. Oh, and nearly holding the zone was Seoul. Once again, if you want to join Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association, they got 3 teams this year, and I'll hold that thought. Fired on, Sano will freeze. It goes all the way through after the whistle. Yeah, as I said, 3 teams for Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association. Seoul, the one playing on this ice right now. They've also got Terra and Luna in the CCHL. Jacks win the draw. Pressure coming from the forecheckers, or rather the forwards of Seoul. Lumberjacks know that they got a 3-goal cushion, and Seoul know that they need to get a couple here quickly, as we are within the final 7 minutes and 30 seconds of period number 3 here today. Back out in front, Lumberjacks had about 3 players, all right, between the hash marks. But Sano will freeze that one. Officially listed as 42 shots on goal, but I'd have to think it's probably closer to 45 or 46. Yeah, appropriate song playing on the speakers. And as I said, it is the return to the ice there for Eric Bell. He wins the faceoff, couldn't keep it, as I think he has, looks like a wad of gauze in his mouth from over at the first aid station. But here goes Bradley. Seoul holds the blue. Try to get the shot all the way through, but it goes off the leg of a Lumberjack defender, and it'll go back the other way. Back out front, Sano still has the lateral movement after being peppered with 45 shots to get to that one. Sano, lateral. Oh, and the rebound does find a hole. Got to the first, couldn't quite stop the second. But Sano has been peppered with shots. Once again, just before we get any further in this game, I would love to thank all of the people that have been involved with the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association, whether that's allowing me to come and do this with my housemate Anthony, working the cameras. Thank you so much for allowing us to come and put some shine on everyone out on the ice today. Sano has that one trickle 5-hole, and you know, it's tough. 48 shots now on the board, and it's just the gas tank, I think, might have been a little bit empty about 3 minutes ago. So now we're running on fumes, and classy act there of the Lumberjacks not to celebrate as they convert their touchdown. Lowe banks that one off the skates, and it'll go into Lumberjacks zone, but they'll pop it off the boards and enter the attacking zone. You know, I think they're trying to make sure that Eric Vondelbrechten gets his hat trick, but here comes Seoul racing through center. That's Sarah Miles. Miles fires the awkward angle shot, and it'll force the glove save. The 20th shot of the game for Calgary Seoul. And if you want the out-of-town summary, it's one of the highest scoring first periods the Calgary Flames have played in all year. They exit the first period down by a score of 3-2. Vongelbrechten puts it down in and allows his winger to go win a foot race. Soul trying to whack and hack that one away, and Fender takes a bit of a spill there. Working its way out of the corner, and you're seeing a little bit of that. It's nearing shot attempt number 50 here for the Lumberjacks, and Soul trying to crit this one out. Camlo did try to chip that one out. A little bit of a dangerous giveaway there. And you're really seeing a lot from Sano, just trying to almost stay in that butterfly and just get lateral. Trying to race away with that one was Tice Berger. Berger will go down into the corner. Tice has that one wrestled off of their stick. Soul hold the zone, and that one off the pads. Kind of turn and shot that off the loose puck. Lumberjacks get it in through center. They'll chip and chase. That one off the pads and shot in with authority. Four minutes left to play here in period number 3. But good to see the Soul continuing to play. Also good to see Eric Bell back on the bench. Trying to battle, trying to get their field goal on the board with 3 minutes 55 seconds remaining on the board. David Erickson, the center, tried to fly all the way back. It's so awesome, though, for Calgary Flare to have invited me and Anthony out. Once again, we're so appreciative. It's a unique opportunity for both us and for Soul, Flare, and Terra to get a little bit of a actual broadcast. As I said, we are going to try and get back out for a Soul and a Terra, or a Terra and a Luna game. Oh, and that one up and around the head. I think they'll whistle it just because it is off the mask. And I think Christine is also just happy to get any whistle here. As I think that, or officially that's shot 49, if unofficially probably about shot 55 or so. Those of you who don't know the city of Calgary very well, but you know the CEPL, this is actually the home rink, or home arena of the Calgary Surge here at Winsport 1. So I know there's a basketball floor hiding somewhere here at Winsport. And this arena actually will be welcoming the Harlem Globetrotters in the middle of March. So, you know, Soul getting to share some rarefied ice, obviously, as well. You see the Hockey Canada logos here at center ice. It's a training ground usually for the women, and I think it's where they did the summer skating this year with Hockey Canada. That one's frozen by the Lumberjacks. Yeah, we don't show it here on the broadcast, but you got all the banners for the World Juniors, the Hockey Canada Cups all around this rink. As it is now becoming the home of Hockey Canada, no longer the Father David Bauer Arena, just about. Yeah, it's probably about 10 minutes down the road, closer to home for me. I can walk to Father David Bauer. That'll be sent down, and Soul will go and retrieve. Chipped all the way down. Gets back into neutral. 1 minute and 53 left here in period number 3. Trying to skate this one down is Alex Bradley. Had the legs churning as the rest of his line will head off on a line change. Held at the line. Lumberjacks will get it out, and they'll chip that one around the first defender. And I don't think you're going to see Eric Vondelbrechten leave the ice. He's looking for goal number 3. Vondelbrechten on the puck now. Sent down below goal, and that'll be trying to get chipped out of the zone for a change there for the 2 defenders. Into the last minute here of period number 3. Calgary Flare Soul trying to get out of this one. Back to the captain, Alana McAvoy, who's really been the one that's been helping me getting rosters and approval from the leagues to allow us to even be here. So thank you, Alana, and the whole executive squad. Soul trying to look for a goal at the last minute. They got all the way across, puck loose. 10 seconds, can Soul find a goal before the time does expire? No, it will get into neutral. And Connolly will just play it all the way back down. Final shot as the buzzer sounds. And the Lumberjacks end up taking this one home. The final score of 8-2. Calgary Soul started the scoring, but 50-plus shots for the Lumberjacks lead them to the victory. Once again, thank you to everyone involved, to the whole board of directors for the Calgary Inclusive Hockey Association, to both of the leagues that have allowed us to come out, and the Lumberjacks, I told them that they were going to have a live stream, and they're like, no, we can't do that, can we? Hey, they played pretty good for the camera today. And of course, the handshake at center ice, and you got to think there's a lot of respect there for Christine Sano. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in if you're watching at home, and we will see you next time for Game Over, the special presentation of Calgary Inclusive Hockey Academy. My name's Conrad Krausert. Thank you so much, everybody.